Hey friend, welcome. It's an exciting day because it turns out I like talking about numbers, or I like looking up the numbers. And we're going to talk about my October sales. So I'm going to show you my top 9 profits in October, and then we'll talk about all the numbers of kind of what's interesting to me. So I guess to start out, I will let you know that my profit in October was $2,239.63. That is right exactly where I want to be. However, I want to be a little more. My goal is to make about $2,000 so I can put $500 back into my business, $500 into savings for taxes because this is taxable income, and then $1,000 every month into my family's budget. If I didn't say so, which I didn't, I'm Jen. I am a part-time reseller, and October actually marks my 13th month, so now I'm not really new anymore. I guess I'm still learning. I still consider myself new, but I have a year of reselling under my belt, and it's kind of fun to see what is selling, what has sold, and of course shopping. So I sold 142 items in October. My average sales price was $28.61. That's up like 58 cents from September, and that is interesting to me because in September I sold a couple things that were like really like $100 items, a couple of them. And I sold nothing that high at all in October. So I'm not entirely sure why that was the case, other than average-wise, I'm getting better. I'm doing better at sourcing. I'm checking my comps and my sell-through rate, and I'm just doing things that are a little better. So I am down. Other than my average sale price, I'm down everything from September. I'm not really sure why that is. I sold 10 items less than October. In October than in September. I'm going to be all over my words today. I was $200 down in my gross number, which I don't think I said yet. My gross sales on eBay was $4,062.64. And then my profit was down just under $200. I don't really know why. Everyone was so like, ooh, fourth quarter, it's going to be great. Well, now October's fourth quarter, and I don't know. I also like had a really great first week of October, and then my sales kind of tanked. And I've heard other resellers say like, if it seems like eBay's broken, I don't really know. I did sell 130 items on eBay, and then I sold 12 items on Poshmark. I am not considering Poshmark like a income source for me at this point, although I've sold enough over the year that I will have to, it's over $600. So any income is taxable. So let me say that. But I will have a 1099 or whatever from them. So, however, I haven't taken any money out of Poshmark. I've just been using it as like credit and buying things for my family and myself on Poshmark, which has been kind of fun. But I'm not really including that in, I don't know. That profit number is included in what I just told you, the 2,239. But you'll see later, I'll talk about what actually came into my account from eBay. So that is different. I did make about $300 on Poshmark. It was $316, and then once you take out the cost of goods and things like that, it's a little under $300. I also am paying for a cross-listing service right now, which is $50 a month, and so that puts me at about $250. I think it's taking me about 5 hours I figured out per week to cross list and share my closet and things like that. And so I think it comes out to it being like $6 an hour that I'm making from what I'm doing on Poshmark. It's kind of all an experiment for me right now. I don't know if it'll be worth it. I'm going to keep going through the end of the year and see if things pick up. But I don't know. We'll see. So let's talk about my top 9 sales. In September, I told you 50 sales that sold for over 200 or for over I'll get it out, over $20. However, I just felt like that was too much. So I'm just going to give you my top 9 sales. So I sold this vintage like Cosby style sweater. I used Cosby. I don't agree with. It's okay. Anyway, moving on. It's the style, right? I bought this at a thrift store in another town for me that I go when they have a half off sale. Bought it for $2. It sold for $45.20. What I'm saying is what came into my account from eBay. So it's what the buyer paid plus the cost of shipping. That comes to me. Out of that, I pay my fees for eBay, and then I also pay my shipping label. And then I also will deduct my cost of goods, and that is my profit. So my profit on this item was $28.75. What you're seeing on the screen is what the buyer actually just paid just for the shipping. However, they paid $45.20 total. So actually they paid a little more because they also pay taxes, but eBay takes care of taxes, so I don't have to worry about that. So this is really cool. Lately, anything with skulls has been selling really fast, except for, there's 2 exceptions to that. But this MMA Elite shirt sold for $33.19, and I think within just like a couple days. I'm sorry. It sold for $45.42. My profit was $33.19. I bought it at a rummage sale, and my average cost of goods that day was $2.14. So, I mean, that's really good return on my investment. I'm like slinging that pen around. I need to put it down. This is a Talbot's trench coat that I bought at a garage sale for $1 whole. It sold for $44.70, and my total profit on that was $26.45. Absolutely amazing. This is a Carhartt. It was like a pink coat. It was a size small, but I found it at the local consignment sale that my town has twice a year. I sell things in it, and then I buy things in it, buy things for my family, and I buy things to resell. I really debated about this coat, but the sell-through rate was really good. I did pay $10 for it. So the buyer paid, this is insane to me, the buyer paid $82.20. The shipping was crazy, and actually I was really upset because I'm not sure what happened, but when I purchased the shipping label, I ended up going through UPS, and what it said, it ended up costing me like $10 more to actually buy the shipping label than what it told me it was going to cost me. So I'm not really sure what happened there, but I still ended up making a profit of $36.43. That is like tripling my money, but again, it was really fast. It sold very fast. And then I sold, it didn't make it in my top 9, but I did sell another Carhartt coat that was like a 4T, like a little toddler coat, which was really good. This Free People sweater was Angora, and I found it at the bins, the Goodwill outlet where you pay by the pound. I paid $2.52 was my average cost that day, and the buyer paid $39.50, and my profit was $27.88. So that was pretty great. Always like saving things from the landfill. Then I sold this Eddie Bauer vintage coat. So it was like a barn coat kind of style. I'm trying to remember. I had an interesting conversation, but it was like, I think they asked if it was men's or women's. I was like, well, I have it listed under men's. It looked like a men's to me, but I don't know. I don't really know. It didn't say. And coats with button-up shirts, if it's a man's, the buttons are on the right side, and if it's a woman's, the buttons are on the left side. I don't really know why that is, but with coats, I'm not really sure if like the zipper, it's the same way. No, if you know, will you let me know in the comments? Anyway, this vintage coat I found at a thrift store in town, I think on a half off day because I only paid $3.50 for it. It sold for $54.03, and my profit was $33.07. And then another Carhartt. I actually sold quite a few Carhartt this month, which is good because it's a brand that I enjoy buying. And actually, I just got a ton of Carhartt in the storage unit that I got from the clothes that I got from a storage unit from my sister, which is great. But this Carhartt was just like a plaid button-up shirt. I bought it at that kids consignment sale for $5, which is kind of a lot for just a button-up shirt, but it was really heavyweight, not quite a flannel, but just really heavyweight. And I have sold those before pretty quickly and for a decent amount of money. So this one was $45.10 is what the buyer paid, and my profit was $25.77. Pendleton blazer. This I've sold twice, and actually 3 times, I think, because I had 2 of them. But let's see. I bought this at the same thrift store in the other town I go to when they have their half off sale. Sometimes I bought it for $3. It was brand new. It was vintage, but it still had the tags on it. And the buyer paid $51, and then my profit was $33.31. It was returned because of fit, I think. It wasn't anything that I did, but yeah, I will talk a little bit, but in a minute. But I had a lot of Pendleton sell this month. This was Mini B was the brand, which I don't think really mattered, but it was like a linen blend, kind of lag-in look style, oversized like tunic dress kind of thing. I found it at the Goodwill outlet. The bins at the same time I went that I bought that Free People sweater. So my average cost of goods was $2.52, and the buyer paid $40.98, and then at $27.13 was my profit. What's interesting, I thought, was I sold 2 linen kind of lag-in look style tunic dresses on the same day, and like to 2 different people. It was really weird to me. I was like, what's happening? So I found that happens a lot. Like last week I had 3 different Lucky Brand shirts go out to 3 different people. I was like, and then the week before I had like 4 different Carhartt items. I'm like, it goes in, I don't know. I think it's interesting. So let's see. Let me tell you some interesting, to me and hopefully to you, numbers for the month of October. I sold 86 women's items, 33 men's items, clothing items, and then 6 kids items. A few of those were vintage overalls. So let's see. I sold 4 purses and 4 pairs of women's shoes. 27 items that I sold came from a garage sale, or garage sales, not just one specific garage sale. And then 24 items came from the Goodwill outlet, the bins. And 15 came from the Salvation Army rummage sale. In my town, we don't have a Salvation Army store, but the church does a rummage sale at least 3 times a year. I'm hoping 4, because that would be great if there was another one. But I've found some really, really amazing things from there. But anyway, I sold 15 items from the Salvation Army rummage sale, 14 items from a local thrift store, and then 13 items from the thrift store in the other town that I go to. And it's been, I think September was the last time I went. So I didn't even go in October. I told you I sold 142 items. If I count up what each item cost me, the actual cost of goods, it was $333.27, which makes that an average cost of goods of $2.35. I try to keep it under $2. However, I have been trying to be better with sourcing, and so I think, I don't know, I think that's pretty good. If I go based off of $2,239 in profit per item, my profit was $15.77. I think September and August, my profit per item was just at $12 per item, around there. So pushing my profit up $3 per item, I think is fantastic. That's really what I want to be doing. I want to be hitting, you know, 20 and 25, hopefully, eventually, as I hopefully get better at this. We'll see. Some interesting things that I thought as I was going through what sold. I sold 31 vintage items. That's crazy to me. That's like, what, a third of things that I sold were vintage. A lot of those were vintage sweaters, and sweaters overall, vintage or not, I actually sold 22 sweaters. So, I mean, that's a thing, right? And then, like I said, Pendleton, I sold Pendleton blazers, Pendleton coats, Pendleton sweaters. I actually sold 5 Pendleton items, and one was like a suit set. It was really cool. And then I sold 2 items that had skulls on them, and they both sold really fast. I don't know what that's about. I say a lot in my thrift hauls that most items will sell between $15 and $25, and I think that seems to be true. So I went through and just checked how many sold for $10 and under, and I had $22 sell between $10 and under. I do have sales going on. I'm trying to kind of clear out some older items. Like I said, I've been doing this for a year now. I started listing last September. Nothing sold until last October, but I'm just trying to get rid of those things. I also have a lot of shorts and like swimsuits and stuff that I am just trying to, I know I hold to there's no seasons on eBay, but at the same time, most of the people I'm selling to are from, you know, the US, and there are seasons in the US, and so I don't have a ton of storage space. I don't want to have a huge ginormous store, so I'm just trying to, you know, get rid of some things. So I had 36 items sell between $11 and $15, 32 items between $16 and $20, and then another 16 items between $21 and $25. And then I had 27 items that sold for $26 and above, which I think is fantastic because I'm, you know, again, I'm trying to push up that average sale price, my average profit. I want all of that to be higher. So, you know, what's the percentage of that? 27 divided by 142. I'm not going to math that out. Anyway, so what went into my account was $2,209.06, which actually is really close to my actual profit. It was $22.39 and then $22.09, which is what actually went into my account in October. Some of those were sales from September, and then some of my sales in October I didn't get the check for until, or the deposit, until November. So hopefully that makes sense. If you're a reseller, I think that you will probably understand. If you have questions, always leave me a comment below. I'm happy to answer them if I can, or hopefully send you in the right direction if I can't. And of course, you know, I'd love to just chat and get to know you a little bit in the comments. So my actual cost of goods, so I went through my bank account and my receipts and added up what I spent to buy for listing items in October, and I spent $509.75. So I did spend almost $400 in Durham, North Carolina, and then we had the kids consignment sale. I was trying not to buy a ton of stuff there, but you know, there was some good Carhartt. I actually bought a lot of Carhartt there. I didn't do a haul for that. I'm not really sure why, but I didn't. But I did spend about $100 there over 2 days. So the first day I went, and then the half off day. So let's see, if I take my profit that eBay sent me into my account, then subtract my cost of goods that I spent for items to sell on eBay, my profit was $1,699.31. So that's, I'm really happy with that. Like I said, I'm trying to take about $500 a month and put it back into my business, and that's basically what I did here this month. You know, if I can keep it lower, I will. It'll be interesting to see what happens in November, because I did get all those items for free from my sister in the storage unit recently. And if you haven't checked out that haul, oh my goodness, you should. There's so many really cool things. Unfortunately, some things that I definitely had to trash and get rid of, but it was amazing. And I'm starting to sell things, and it's really fun to see what is going out from there. The first item that sold in November. So you will want to subscribe if you haven't already, so that you can see next month what sold, because there are already some really good items there. So let's see, what else do I have to say? I don't think anything. Thanks so much for joining me. If you have enjoyed this video, please remember to give me a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't already. You can also check out another video right here, and I'll see you soon.